Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's finally here. The most anticipated movie of the year. I don't think there's any contest as to the most anticipated movie of the year. Star Wars: The Force Unleashed. Sorry, The Force Awakens. The 7th chronological Star Wars movie of them all. A brand new Star Wars movie that continues the story. Everyone has been waiting patiently for this one. I went into hiding for 2 days just to avoid spoilers, because the movie came out on the 16th of December, but I didn't get a chance to see it then, so I had to see it today. And I spent the entire day and the day before just avoiding spoilers. I did not want to know what happened in the movie. And now it's finally here. I've finally seen it. I can talk about it. And it was... I'm sorry. I'm not sure if I'm in the minority or not. It hurts. It really hurts to say this. I did not like it. I did not think it was a good Star Wars movie. Or I should say a good movie in the Star Wars franchise. Because there's a lot of reasons. But I'll try to explain a little bit what I felt watching the movie. First of all, we had technical problems. I did not see... the theater it was showing it in had issues with the sound. It took a while for it to finally get going, but eventually we finally got the movie started. So already there were problems. But that's not the fault of the movie, that's the fault of the theater. So, okay. Then the movie starts. And we get a scene where a guy representing the Resistance is trying to get information on where Luke Skywalker is right now. Then the new Empire, or sorry, the First Order attacks. They attack. This guy sends his droid away to get the information to the rebel forces, or the Resistance. Sorry, the Resistance. And he gets captured and tortured. Are you starting to notice something? The droid meets up with someone who lives in a desert, and they eventually get on the Millennium Falcon and get off the planet. Are you starting to see a pattern here? They meet up with someone who fought in the old war, which is, in this case, Han and Chewie. They meet up in a bar where they get some kind of explanation on things. There's a raid there. One of them is captured. They meet up with the Resistance force on a forest planet. Notice a pattern here? They launch a... Then they notice that this new order has this weapon that is the size of a planet that can destroy multiple planets with a beam shot. Starting to notice a pattern here. Then they need to do an orbital strike on this thing. No, I mean a aerial force strike on it, and it just so happens that they need someone to infiltrate the planet, get down the shields, and then they need to strike a weak point that will destroy the entire thing. Notice a pattern here. And as my and at the end, and we see a and by the way, if you didn't want spoil, I put something in the first part of the video. It's for 10 seconds. You need to look at it. If you don't want spoilers, you need to look at it. I'm not sure if I spelled it correctly, but it's basically saying spoilers will be discussed. Approach with caution. If you don't care about spoilers, go right ahead and watch my video. If you care, don't watch it. Don't watch it until you've seen it. Though, if I can give my thoughts right now, I wouldn't recommend it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I feel so bad. I know I shouldn't. It's an opinion. I know it's an opinion, but I feel so bad for not liking this movie. But yeah, if you couldn't tell by everything I talked about earlier, one of the big things I noticed is that it borrows so many plot elements from the first movie. I have talked about every single thing already, but yeah, I basically described the first movie just with some different aesthetics, some different characters here and there, but it's essentially the same. There are minor differences. For example, the fact that one of the characters is a former stormtrooper who turns just like that at the beginning of the movie. And then there is a masked villain. I'll get to him in a minute. They meet up with an old combatant of the war. In this case two, but it's basically the same. It's like you have the same, and yeah, there are differences, but I see so many plot elements. And I guess we should talk about the two I'm gonna get the two major spoilers out of the way right now before I start talking about the main thing that irritated me about this movie. Actually, there's three, but the third one ties in with the first one. So, yeah, let's talk about it. That mask guy that you see on the poster, that you see on all the promotional, he's Han Solo and Leia's son. Yeah, that's a major spoiler. There, right there. If you haven't seen the movie, that's the spoiler right there. I did warn you. There were spoilers. He is Han and Leia's son. He is an underling. They make that apparent very early. He's not only underling to this huge thing in a hologram, who is basically another emperor, just without the charm. And he also has the head of his grandfather, aka Darth Vader, sitting around with him. You've seen that skull face in the trailers or something. Yeah, he has that around with him, calling upon it to help him with the dark side. And then he kills Han. Han Solo has a meeting with him, trying to turn him back. He kills him. Han gets stabbed. He dies. Falls off a rafter. And then we get one of the few moments in the movie I actually love. After Han gets killed, Chewie shoots the bad guy square in the balls. Seriously, he shoots him, and it hits him square in the freaking nuts. I was happy with that. And then we have the second spoiler. At the very, very, very end of the movie, this woman, who is the main character, you see her on the poster, she lands on this ocean planet with a few islands on there. She climbs up one of them. She finds Luke. She finds Luke. He looks like just an old Jedi. So yeah, unless there's a huge difference in the second movie. He's not the bad guy. Those were the only spoilers I can really give you. Everything else, if you watch the first movie, you know what's gonna happen. Though I've talked about a lot of things that annoys me about this movie. I mentioned them pretty much all. There's so many plot elements that just are taken from the first movie. But let's talk about the main problem I have with this movie. It's not the copy paste. It's the New Order. The villains of the movie. They all suck. I'm sorry. They all suck. We're back to Stormtroopers. And while they do get a few shots in here and there, they're still as stupid as they were in the previous movies. They were in the previous movie. They have some commanders, but they don't have Peter Cushing to give up. There is a hammy leader of the Resistance, but he does basically nothing, and nothing really comes of him. The guy said, I've already mentioned I think his name is the Supreme Leader. He sits in a throne room. He looks kind of like, he is just this huge thing. He's an alien, I guess, but he's kind of just there. Kind of just there. Nothing really to speak about. Nothing really to talk about. Maybe we'll see more of him in the next movie, because I promise you there's gonna be a next movie. But they're all very incompetent. They're all very weak. And then we have him. His name, Kylo Ren, I think. Though he has another one, which is Ben. At least that's what Han calls him when he calls out to him on the last scene. This character. At first he looks like your typical badass sort of character. There's a scene where someone shoots at him, he blocks it and holds it in place for a long time, and then finally lets it go, just to show off his powers. Not that it's too much of interest for me, though. It was kind of underwhelming, I'm gonna be honest. And then as the movie progressed, he became more and more just kind of character. Just kind of seemed like they were trying to make another Darth Vader, but they just didn't work. And then he captures the girl, and halfway through the fucking movie, no suspense added, no climax added, he takes off the fucking mask. What does he look like under it? He looks like a fucking teenager. A weak teenager. And hearing him talking during those scenes, he sounds so out of it. And throughout the entire movie afterwards, he acts like a fucking temper tantrum child. His acting is so stoic. It's not so strict. I don't really know the word for it, but it's so. It doesn't feel genuine. Sorry, I was wondering what that was, but it was just carpet. And it bothered me. It bothered the hell out of me. This character sucked. And by the end of the movie, one of the reasons I was so happy that Chewie shot him in the balls was, yeah, it was an awesome moment, but I was kind of hoping he would die. And yeah, I know and if you're going to tell me, well, yeah, you just saw Han die right before, of course you would want him dead. That wasn't the reason. The fact that Han died wasn't the reason. In fact, I saw it coming from a mile away. I knew it was going to happen. It's like, I'm watching this movie, I know someone is going to die. I know someone is going to die. It's going to be Han, it's going to be Leia, or it's going to be Chewie, or it's going to be Luke. One of those four, one of the four originals, one of them is going to die. I know it's going to happen. And I was right. Han dies. But I saw it coming. But that wasn't the reason. The reason I wanted to see him die was because I was hoping we could get a new villain in the next movie. This character sucked so much. I didn't want to see a scene with him. I just wanted him to leave. I didn't care about anything. And he gets overthrown by a few newbies who's never held a lightsaber before. It's like he gets beaten so easily by these two. And even then, it's not like they're teaming up on him. No. He fights them one-on-one. He tries to turn into dark, but it doesn't feel believable. It doesn't feel like he has any rights to be a Sith or Darkseid or whatever you want to call him. He doesn't feel threatening. He doesn't feel like a proper bad guy. I mean, I know, he's a Jedi turned evil. I get that. But he's so uninteresting. And this is not a villain you open your fucking new series with. It's like, when you're showing a villain, you want to show someone who's a legitimate threat if you're going to keep him around. You don't go the route of just having him thrown to the sharks immediately and have him seem like he's a fucking weakling by the end. My voice is cracking up. I'm sorry, but this bothered the hell out of me. The villain sucked. And this is coming from a series who, really, if you think about it, did any of the villains really suck? And I'm talking main villains here. It's like, let's start from the beginning. Darth Vader, people really like Darth Vader. I think he's a good villain, but I'm not as sold on him as I am. Grand Moff Tarkin, love him. Think he's a great military villain, and I wish there was something like. I mean, there is, kind of, because they're trying to emulate it, but it's not the same thing. You don't have Peter Cushing to help you out on that one. The Emperor, favorite villain in the Star Wars franchise, so fucking good. He was intimidating, he was manipulative, he worked on so many fucking levels, and he had a great actor to portray him. Darth Maul, yeah, silent as, yeah, he was an underling, but he was an underling done right. He was a silent assassin, but he worked. He really worked for his role. Few lines, but that was the thing. Cold-blooded assassin. It worked. The movie might have sucked, but he was working fine. Count Dooku. Yeah, he wasn't very... he was kind of underutilized in the movies, but one, he was played by Christopher Lee, which is an automatic greatness, and two, he really showed himself to be a threat. He manhandled Anakin and Obi-Wan, and he could stand, and he was able to stand toe to toe with Yoda. Freaking Yoda. And I'm talking specifically of the Force ability, because the battle with the lightsabers, I don't have a problem with Yoda using a lightsaber, but the fight itself was so poorly choreographed and so poorly done that I just couldn't get into it. And Grievous, he was good in the Clone Wars animated series, and I'm talking about the original Genndy Tartakovsky. Sorry, he was a cool guy there. And he was interesting there, but I feel he was done poorly in the movies, and especially TCW. And that's pretty much all the villain. I mean, I guess if you want to count Newton Gunray or something like that, then yeah, they're probably not that good of villains, but they're just kind of pawns in the Emperor's play. They're just pawn. And I know, this new guy, he's a pawn as well. He's an underling. But I was just so baffled that this guy had any command. He feels like someone who would be, you know, a stormtrooper. He feels like someone who would be still in training. And he apparently is still in training. But you give him all this time, all trying to show how badass he is, and then you just kind of throw him under the bus, make him a wimp, make him a turbulent child, trying to give him some kind of villainous moment where he acts like he truly feels sorry, and then he kills Han. But it doesn't work, because I genuinely thought that, because I was sitting there like, he's gonna kill him, I know he's gonna kill him, I know it's gonna happen. You're not convincing me of anything. It's like you seem like such a weak fucking guy. I just wanted to see him die so we could get a different villain. Anyone else. Call in anyone else. You know, going into this movie, I was definitely afraid that they were going to just bring back Darth Vader because it's a popular character. But right now, I take it. I'd honestly take it over there. I'd honestly take a floating something, anything, other than this guy. Oh, not technically anything. I saw a trailer for Batman vs Superman, and my goodness, Lex Luthor looks fucking terrible. Ugh. But back to Star Wars. If you want to know about the action, it's good. I suppose it's good, but if you want to know about the characters, they're good enough, I suppose. They're nothing spectacular, but they're nothing terrible. Terrible, except for the villain. And that's pretty. I might come off as a dumbass here. You might think I'm stupid. But this is genuinely how I felt. When I walked out of the movie, the only thing I truly hated was the villain. But when I started thinking about it, the more things annoyed me with the movie. The more I go over the movie in my head, the more I lose admiration for it, to the point where I'm almost considering it to be worse. It's like, if I compare it to any of the other Star Wars movies, the first one, and then I mean Episode 4. Like, Episode 4 doesn't even compare. It tries to be Episode 4. It fails. It's not as good. No. Empire Strikes Back? No. The Return of the Jedi? I don't think it's that. No. Far better villains, better story, a satisfying conclusion, nothing really to stand on. Episode 1, it's not as boring, so yeah, it's better than that. And if it's better than Episode 1, it's better than Episode 2. Episode 3, this is where I'm actually conflicted. I'm actually thinking Episode 3 is better than this. Is that wrong? Am I horrible for that? Am I horrible for saying that Episode 3 is better than this? Am I horrible for saying that? And even then, it's better than Episode 1, but I'm almost hesitant to say that I watched this over Episode 1. Again, would I watch it again? Probably once and then never again. I probably don't want to watch this movie again. None of the points that really hit me that much. I'm so destroyed by this movie. I've never felt this way about a movie before. Well, it's like, well, okay, there is one movie, but that was more because it was the first bad movie I ever watched. It's like that was the first time it ruined my love for cinema and the fact that every movie is fantastic. But we all go through that one. But this movie, I wasn't expecting it to be great. I was prepared for it to suck, but I didn't expect it to be like this. I was so ready to think this movie was going to surprise me. I went in with low expectations. I actually did. I went in with low expectations. But I was hoping, I was begging the movie to do something that would surprise me, to make me interested in the next movie. But nothing. Nothing came to mind. Nothing really got me dragged in. Do I want to see the next movie? Well, yeah, I do, but that's only because I want to know. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna fix this? Are you gonna make a better villain? You're gonna try not to do the stupidity of doing Empire Strikes Back again? Are you gonna have a different director now? I think that was the thing. I think I heard that J.J. Abrams wasn't gonna direct the next one. The music outside of a few tracks was kind of forgettable. And those were stock tracks from the previous movies. The story, again, it's just the first movie again, only with different characters. There's a somewhat different plot. Somewhat, not entirely. Even then, one of the movie's saving graces was Han Solo, really, because he felt genuine. He felt like a character I could really get behind, and they kill him, and what do I have to look forward to in the next movie? Chewie is good for a few scenes, but not much. Leia was kinda just there, like always. The other characters are good and they're okay, but they're nothing spectacular. They're nothing I haven't seen before. They're nothing really I can get too much behind. If they killed the villain in this movie, maybe there would have been something. They don't just try to make him something different. If they just killed him and made a new villain for the next one, that could have been interesting. like, I know people were angry that they killed off Darth Maul in the first movie, but honestly, I like that because I think it's a way to just, because you've done all you can do with Darth Maul. Really, he's a silent assassin. Really, he tries to do his job. If he fails, he fails. Like, you're not gonna get anything different with Darth Maul, but you might get something different with. But you might get something different with. I don't even know where I am right now. Oh, with my thoughts, but it just feels so wrong that I should hate this. I don't hate the movie. It just feels so. I wasn't. I don't know if I was expecting too much, if I was expecting too little. I don't even know what I was thinking going into it. I don't even know what. Was I drained by the fact that I got some worse? Was I ticked on by the technical difficulties? Was that it? Was I ticked off because of the move? Hey, was there something that just ruined the experience for me? I don't know. I really don't know what it was that just made me think this movie wasn't good. I've listed the problems I have with the movie, but I really shouldn't feel like it's so bad. Like, this could be a decent starting point, but then again, I don't know if it really. Maybe it was the hype. Maybe it was the technical difficulties. Maybe it was the movie. I don't know. But I just feel so betrayed by this movie. I don't know how I can feel that way when I had low expectations, but it just feels like I paid to see episode 7 and I got episode 1. No, wait. I paid to see episode 7 and I got episode 4 with worse villains. And this is. It just. Maybe it's the fact that I've seen so many negative reviews for the new Star Wars Battlefront game. And to see the movie now, and see that it's not good. At least not to me. Maybe Star Wars is done. Maybe it can't be fixed after the prequels. Maybe it is gone. They annihilated the expanded universe, and it no longer exists. And now they made a shit thing. No, not shit. I don't know if I want to call it a shit movie or not. It technically speaking, it's not terrible, but I just can't bring myself to say it's a good movie. I don't know why. I just can't. Maybe I sound like a child. Maybe I sound like a dumbass. But this is genuinely how I feel. I didn't expect it to be good, but I at least expected some kind of story. Different story. I expected some kind of entertaining villains. I expected something to latch onto. But this movie had barely anything. It was just the old cast that really got interesting to me, and they kill off half of it in the end. So what do you got left? Nothing. You got nothing. I have nothing to theorize about this movie. I have nothing to really gain from this movie. It doesn't look like they turned Luke into the bad guy, which, yeah, I was kind of expecting that they weren't going to do that. But I had a bit of a hunch maybe they could have done it. They didn't, but I was kind of thinking. Honestly, in that scene when he's talking to the Darth Vader head, I was kind of hoping that he wasn't going to mention grandfather. If he didn't mention that, then we're going to find, who's he talking to? Is it Luke? Maybe. Maybe there's some kind of dark secret here. And then when she showed up to Luke, maybe they could have done something, but they didn't. Though granted, that's more me, just being kind of there. As for Luke, he looked okay. Nothing spectacular, but nothing terrible either. Also, they bring back the Anakin's lightsaber in this. Don't know where it came from. Don't know how it ended up there. It's just kind of dead. I don't know if I have anything more to say about this movie. I don't know if I have anything more to say in general. This movie just... It didn't do anything. It rehashed plotlines from the first movie. It had terrible villains. And all around, I didn't like it. Do I see it becoming better? Maybe. If they kill off Kylo in the next movie and just make a different villain. Just kill him. I don't care about the whole completing his training thing. Kill him. Get rid of him. I don't want to see him. I don't want to see his redemption. I don't want to see anything from this character ever again. I just want him dead. I don't want to see him. I don't want to hear of him. Kill him off screen. I don't care. Just get rid of him. I don't care about him. He's a shit villain and I don't want to see him anymore. Or anyone. If you disagree with me, feel free. Post it in the comments. Tell me I'm wrong. Please, tell me I'm wrong. I really want to like this movie. I really do. I want to see a bright future for the Star Wars franchise, but I'm not seeing it. I don't see it with this movie. Please tell me I'm wrong. Please tell me that please tell me that I'm wrong. Or agree with me. Just tell me. Am I wrong? Am I an idiot? What am I? I feel emotionally traumatized with this movie because I can't really figure out what I feel. I feel like this movie wasn't good, but I don't know if I should feel that way or not. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I'm not. I can't really compare to anyone because the movie hasn't come out all over the place. So, I've been going on for a long time here, saying essentially nothing, I suppose. But I just couldn't bring myself to liking this movie. And when it eventually comes out on DVD, I'm not going to buy it. I own all the other Star Wars movies, but I'm not going to buy this one. I own every single movie, including episode 3, 2, and 1. But I can't bring myself to supporting this movie. For some dumb reason, I just can't. Because I feel like Star Wars is going in the wrong direction. And that's basically the final thing I have to say about this movie. I didn't like it. I don't think it's a good I don't think it's good. If I could recommend something to you, if you want to watch episode 7, watch the first movie instead. It's far better. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. This will most likely be the last thing I upload this year, because I really don't have anything else to say. Oh, maybe. I might go see another movie, I don't know what, because of the technical difficulties, they gave me a free ticket to another movie. So, yeah. That's pretty much all I can really do. So, but since this is probably the last thing I'm gonna upload, I might as well talk about something else that I can talk about this year. Like the new Smash update. Just to bring in some more positive things. New Smash update. Cloud is now on Smash. I've downloaded Cloud of Smash Bros. He's actually really fun to play with. And they've announced 2 new DLC characters. First, we have a brand new character, Corin, I think his name is, or hers. You can have both male and female, because they're essentially the Robin of the new new Fire Emblem game that's coming out, Fire Emblem Fates. It's a sword wielder with dragon powers. Looks cool. Never really been a fan of the Fire Emblem series. But I like playing as Ike. So, and Roy and March, so maybe I might enjoy this character. Maybe not. We'll see. And then we have the ballot winner. The surprise winner of the ballot, Bayonetta. Yep, Bayonetta won the ballot choice. She was the #1 choice in Europe, one of the top 5s in the US, and overall of the most realizable characters, she was the #1. I'm not sure if there were some other characters, but that were #1s. Like my brother thought maybe it would be Banjo-Kazooie. I can see that, but then again, they're owned by Microsoft, so they were probably not going to have Banjo and Kazooie in there. I did not see, as much as I wanted it, I did not see Simon making it in there. Snake coming back wasn't going to happen. I was surprised that Wolf didn't come back, considering that they have a new Star Fox game coming out and all that. And yeah, but Bayonetta looks like a very complicated character to play at. And now I really need to get up my ass and play the Bayonetta games. I have them both. I just haven't played them yet. I just haven't had the time to it. I've for the most part been occupied with different games like WWE 2K16 and Shovel Knight. Speaking of WWE, Roman Reigns finally won the championship. Vince McMahon returned. It was a lot of weird stuff. I haven't seen NXT. I've been off the internet ever for the past 2 days to avoid the spoilers for Star Wars. But I'll see later what happened at NXT TakeOver London. But either way, yeah, that's pretty much all I can say about things going forward. I'm not sure how I feel about the whole thing. I don't know what WWE is doing with Roman Reigns right now. But that's all I gotta say. I might, and again, I apologize if I came off as some kind of came off very weird. But this movie just, I don't know how to feel. I'm hoping. I really am hoping that the next movie is better. So I can forget this one ever happened, really. Because I just don't like this movie at all. I'm sorry, I just don't like it. But I'm hoping the next movie's better. Hopefully, either they can fix Kylo, or they'll kill him. Preferably, I'll kill him, honest. Preferably, I would have him killed. I'm sorry. The effects and the camera shots, it didn't really matter to me anymore. me because I was so aggravated by the story and the characters, really. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I can say about this movie. Didn't like it. You may have a different opinion. If you watch this video, comment below. Tell me I'm wrong. Please tell me I'm wrong. I will listen, because I really want to know if I'm wrong here. And if I'm not, I have a bad feeling about the future of the Star Wars franchise.